15 years, whatever it is, right?
So if you can do it, anyone can do
If
it.
I can do it, anyone can do it.
Give up the smoke or whatever.
Detoxify and
the weed.
have a breakthrough.
Mm.
That's the next step, to detoxify and have the breakthrough.
Yeah.
Again, what I had...
Because when you had your accident, you were 6 weeks without anything but water or medicine.
You know, and for 45 years, I've been thinking, I only have to do it for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I've been thinking that for
40
45
days, 40
years.
nights. Yep.
I only got to do it for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to do it.
I did it for 3 months.
You know, I haven't been able to do it. 45 years I've been thinking just 6 weeks, but I haven't been able to do it.
And I wrote
for
some of the
most
beautiful music in that 3 months. I became more inspired with the music. Yeah, less inspired for the preaching, except
Yeah, well, see,
I got less.
You started to be, you turned into the mad preacher.
No, I wasn't preaching. Oh, well, I was.
Well, the few times that you've done it, you turned into the mad preacher.
I was getting more religious, yeah. But I got a lot of views from that because people want to hear holiness.
Things will be different now.
Yeah.
You're older and a bit wiser. And...
Yeah. But I know the feeling. Once you get past, what's even 3 weeks, mate? You get past 3 weeks.
I tell you what,
magic.
If you and I were both trying to do it
at the same time,
imagine the conversations we'd have when we got together. Like comparing sort of.
Yeah.
How if we actually were both trying to do it when we caught up.
Yeah.
We're not going to be who we are now, huh?
And what sort of hot drink would you have? You're not having coffee. You're giving that up as well. What would you drink?
Water.
Just water? Nothing hot?
Tea.
Tea's still coffee. Tea and coffee the same.
Yeah, water. Just for a while. Do you know what I mean? Because my body is only used to coffee because I keep pouring it in my mouth.
Yeah, you like the taste.
I wasn't born drinking coffee.
No.
Yeah, or maybe Milo.
Too much sugar for me. Yeah. Got to find.
I'd like to give the water thing a try because that's what we're supposed to be. We're made of 75% water.
What did the hunter and gatherers drink? Hunters and gatherers back in ancient time.
Water.
Just water.
We're made of water.
Yeah.
That's what we're supposed to be drinking.
Yeah.
Not supposed to be drinking this molasses and everything.
Right.
We're clogging up our pipes.
Is that right?
And then with all this shit,
yeah,
we've got our brain. The blood-brain barrier must be covered in like a treacle.
As I mentioned, Mountain Man, he cured cancer in 6 months just on raw veggies and water. Now he had a wheat bix as for a dessert, but he was walking 20 miles a day. He had 20 times more energy.
Okay, I started talking about the 4 big things. All right, so detoxifying, that's 1. Bit of exercise, that's 2. Yep. Okay, the 3rd is the breathing.
Yep.
All right. And the
4th one?
I've got that all together. Got the detoxifying, because I saw it all. Detoxifying, the exercise, the breathing. It's just like...
a kind of a meditation on Christ or something? A stillness of the mind or...
Well, the breathing is when we're meditating.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Okay, when we meditate, you got to breathe in a certain way.
Yep.
All right. And what's the other one? I thought it said it so clearly. The 4 things that we really need: detoxifying, exercising, the breathing.
It's important.
It may come to me, but there's so, and you and me, we're not doing any of those things.
No.
None of those things.
Yeah.
But we're all where we're supposed to be, and we're all on a journey. Okay?
Yeah. Yep.
And all of these things are lessons up until the point where we're ready to break through.
Yep.
And hopefully that is that's like very soon. That's like now.
Yeah. Well,
the breathing was after the breathing.
This is the time to do it because people get really sick in their 60s. We're in our 60s. And if we stop now, it could add how many years? 7, 10, 15 years to our life. I want to be around when Jesus returns, man.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Imagine
If we haven't lost our head.
seeing this big flash of lightning
Yeah,
go across the sky.
Behold,
from the
ye
east to
inhabitants
the
of the
west.
earth.
Yeah,
the trumpets.
Behold, ye inhabitants of
And
the
there's people hearing trumpets now, but they reckon they're all fake. I mean, they're coming supernaturally from the wrong source.
The sky splits open, and then there's
Scrolls
all
roll
the
back,
angels
yeah.
and horses, and the king with his crown on and fire in his eyes.
Why would Jesus need to come on a horse? It says he'll come on a horse. A white horse.
That sounds about right. He's be coming on the original horse.
Ah, okay.
You know, the archetype of horse.
Yeah, with wings.
Yeah, Pegasus.
Pegasus.
He'll be coming on Pegasus.
Oh, that's the name, Pegasus. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And when he's on the earth during 1,000 years, not everybody will see him all the time. He'll come and go and sit in his temples. No.
What? During
Jesus.
1,000 years.
Yeah. Will everybody see him all the time, or only sometime during 1,000 years? Because will he be sort of in the temple?
Well, if you're in Jerusalem, I suppose. Yeah, he's going to be in Jerusalem. The people are going to be all over the world, though.
Yeah, but he will visit other nations.
But we'll travel there. We can go there.
How? Like
we can go there. Imagine, okay,
just
if
zapped.
we're at the call. Okay, we're going to go to Jerusalem,
and you just get zapped there.
But no, we'll travel there. It's just. Yeah. But I had that dream. Remember? I told you about. I know I was carrying this thing in this box, like a briar. Okay.
Yeah.
The big poles. This whole group of us. We had this pole, and there's a big box that we were carrying, a briar. You know what a briar is? You know, like all the poles of the box in the middle, all the people carry it along. Mm-hmm. And there was something real nasty in the box. And it was banging the box, bang, kicking the box, right? But we weren't worried about it. And we were singing, on our way to Jerusalem. I remember it was, on our way to Jerusalem. We were taking this thing to Jerusalem, right? And then it got out of the box, right? The lid went flying off. It got out. It went up in the air, and then it came at me. And you know what a scimitar is?
No.
Those big curved swords.
Oh.
You seen those big curved swords, the big round curve? It's called a scimitar, okay?
Okay.
It turned into one of them and went right through me. And I wasn't phased in the least. I just kept singing. Hey, on our way to Jerusalem. This thing didn't bother me. You know what I mean? I was just like so. It's one of the dreams I'll never forget.
Yeah.
It burned in there. I was there, mate. I was on my way to Jerusalem. And so I think one day, we'll be having me like we'll go and then we'll see the big line of people. You know, like coming back from the temple. We'll be at the back of the line. You know, here we go. You know.
Well, the last shall be first. The first shall be last.
But we know that eventually, inside was going to be the king, and he's going to be sitting on his throne. We're going to be eventually, we're going to be getting in there. Finally, like, he's going to see us. He's going to meet him. You know. Imagine that feeling.
And no sickness, no sickness, no death. Yeah.
Every tear wiped away.
Yeah. Wow.
There'll be crying. No more. There'll be no more sickness. There'll be no more death. All tears should be wiped away. No more suffering.
Everybody wearing white.
Yeah, just so we'll come over the hill. We'll see this huge line of people. You know, in front of the main gate, Jerusalem, and we'll just join the back of the queue and just stand there and wait. Knowing that eventually I wouldn't be like, I'd kind of be hanging back. I wouldn't be pushing forward.
Yeah.
I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, like, here we go.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Is he going to burn me or what? You know what I mean?
What are we talking about? A big convention where Jesus is going to speak to his people, or are you talking about a judgment?
Yeah, I just get a bit melodramatic there. But just if you were in the queue, you'd know that you're okay.
Yeah.
But you were going to finally meet him.
Yeah. And if you're not in the queue, where are you?
Somewhere you wouldn't want to be.
But would you be resurrected at that time?
If you're not in the queue, mate, you're just missed out.
In hell. Oh. Wow.
But yeah, just being in the queue, knowing that within a short space of time, you were finally going to meet him. After all, you were going to open that last
So
door.
what about people, like most of the Christians I know, who don't drink, smoke, nothing? They're absolutely got their body right, but there's no progression. Like when I say that, some believe that there is. That's it. That's as far as I'm going.
Yeah, but we can only see on the outside. We can't see the progression on the inside.
Ah, the inside.
We only see the outside. Okay, and that can be very deceiving.
Okay, and maybe they don't even know they're progressing.
Yeah, and maybe they don't even know themselves either.
Right.
Until it's time.
I see.
But have you heard that song, I Can Only Imagine?
Yeah.
Have you heard that? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. That's about seeing him for the first time.
Yeah.
Face to face.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. Wow.
The King. Finally. Oh, man, if we had the word.
Talk about the King.
Back.
A Bible study, they were saying, don't get your heart set on Elvis. He probably won't be there. Because apparently he was a womanizer sleeping around as much as Priscilla was. Don't know.
Yeah, the books will reveal all.
He got his reward now, but I loved Elvis, but and I wept at his grave. He's right next to his mum and papa. It was a beautiful feeling. Memphis, I don't know. Who knows? Only God can judge. But then again,
apparently he was a root rat.
He was. And
which is why Priscilla left him.
I
always wondered why she left him, but that was why.
He had too much fame. See,
he just couldn't.
Who's prepared to give up fame when you're the king?
And who's prepared to live with someone who roots all the other people?
He wasn't prepared to
marriage.
He wasn't prepared to give it up.
No. Well, it's just.
If you were Elvis, would you give it up? All that success and fame and good looking too.
Oh, he had it all, didn't he? He had it all.
Yeah.
He had everything.
Sure did, huh?
He had a good physique, you know?
Yeah.
He had everything. He had a Michelangelo face.
Yeah.
He had that voice that could just move people.
Yeah.
He had a faith that inspired people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then along came that Demon Parker.
Oh, yeah, that manager.
Demon.
Oh, he was.
Reptile fucking. Hey, guess what?
What?
Oh, mate. I saw the picture of the bloke who runs NASA.
Yeah.
Okay,
Go on.
at the moment.
Yep.
Okay, I saw his picture of who he is. Mate. Just lizard. Oh, dear.
Well,
dear.
we both have seen lizards. You finish
But
what you're
this
saying.
bloke, you see him. Yeah, just lizard. You can see him all over. See it all over him. Right? Everything about his head and everything. A big bald fucking thing with the reptilian sort of eyes and feet. He's a lizard, mate. He's in charge of NASA. You know, NASA is an occult thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's built on the occult. Do you realise that? People don't realise that. Okay? JPL does not stand for Jet Propulsion Laboratory. It stands for Jack Parsons Laboratory.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Parsons was in with Crowley, and they were doing this really complicated occult ritual.
And who was the head of it?
What?
Who was the head of the occult? Another guy. The three of them.
There was Alistair Crowley.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
There was Jack Parsons, and there was Ron Hubbard.
Ron Hubbard.
Yeah, and
from
Walt,
Scientology.
And Walt Disney was in there as well.
Walt Disney.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. That's why Hollywood and all the darkness and the sex and everything is all come out of Hollywood. You know, Walt Disney. You know?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was in with it, right? And it was heavy occult, like black magic. Wow. Not dark magic, black magic, okay? They were doing that. Really intense black magic, like the blackest of black that you read about in the Old Testament, Moloch and Baal, all that stuff. That's what they were doing.
For what? For what reason?
For the same reason they'd been doing it for thousands of years, because
power.
That thing is there in creation, and it gets into people.
But did Satan?
And they're the other seed.
Did Satan inspire Disneyland for those kids, all that lovely innocent?
Yeah,
when I wish upon a star.
It's a trap.
How I wonder what you are.
Yeah, and then you look at Miley Cyrus, a dirty little slut, you know.
Yeah, so Satan can even use Disneyland as a deception. Because it's not bringing people to Jesus. It's bringing people to Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was built, NASA is built on the occult. Alright? Built on the occult. And that gives a whole kind of credibility to this whole idea, this conspiracy theory about they're keeping stuff from us, like maybe the Earth is really flat, maybe the whole space program is just all bullshit. Maybe there's stuff on the moon they don't want us to see.
Yeah. And yet one of the astronauts that went to the moon, the Apollo, was a Mormon, and he revealed that it was a mothership, alien ships and everything going.
Said things,
and they don't normally lie. They're pretty, and they said
they've all said things.
Everybody saw it. Yep. Kept secret.
And when you understand that NASA was built on the occult, on black magic.
Wow.
It makes sense. Well, that kind of feeds into this stuff about NASA's lying to us about all this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if they're built on the occult, they are. It's all darkness and deceit. All deceit. Maybe the Earth is flat. What about Admiral Byrd in the Antarctica? He says, there's undiscovered land out there, And they kind of shut him down.
I reckon they found the Garden of Eden in a big hole, and it goes down into all sorts of crazy things.
But
Gardens.
Byrd went to the Antarctic, and he was a decorated hero. And he took all these. You know about Admiral Byrd?
I've heard of it.
The Antarctic. Went to the Antarctic with those thousands of soldiers and ships and planes and everything. Okay, and came back and said, "There's undiscovered land in the Antarctic. Heaps of it. Nice green land with trees and vegetation and hundreds of square miles of it." Right? And he said, and there were people living inside the Earth.
Yeah.
So.
And people living on the moon.
But he said there are people living inside the Earth. So if the Earth is flat, that'll make it hard for people.
They even reckon the moon is a big hollow spaceship made out of metal. Yeah. And there's people living in the moon.
They shot something into it and it went off like a bell, bang.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. They shot a missile into it or something, and listened to the sound of it, and it went off like bang. Not thud.
No.
Yeah. And have you noticed that all the craters on the moon are all about the same depth? There's no real big ones, huge ones. They're all about the same depth. So in other words, that's as far as any of them can go. Because there's like a shell. Right. And they can't get past that shell. So they only ever have that same kind of imprint. You would expect that some of them would have just like huge craters, big holes in the moon, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's the size of them, but they're all the same, similar size.
So who made the craters then? Was it meteorites?
Well, it could be that the moon is artificial, and it's a shell.
Oh, it's a shell.
And there's stuff going on inside the moon, and anything that hits the moon can only cause the craters to be so much depth. They can't. None of them can go any further. They're all the same.
Yeah.
Now look at that, right? And they go, okay. Right, so they can't go any further. So it could be artificial.
So what affects the gravity then? The moon's got gravity. The gravity of the waves and everything, and the full moon and werewolf type of mentality. Silly season.
Yeah, well, that kind of interferes with that theory, doesn't it? If it hasn't got the mass, then it interferes with that doesn't fit with relativity and the effect that it has on the Earth, on the tides. If it hasn't got the mass, it's going to have the mass for those formulas to work.
Yeah.
Right? Because cubic is not enough.
Yeah.
It's got to have the mass. So yeah, that kind of rules out the hollow moon.
Okay.
Because unless it's kind of mostly solid,
I was going to say.
and a little bit in the middle where they are.
Yeah.
Operating it.
Right.
And it's mostly solid, so it's huge mass, and the asteroids can only go so far because it's so hard and solid.
Yeah.
They're just, that's why they can't.
Remember that movie Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey, and romantic moment.
Oh, one more coffee.
And he pulls the moon down. He just puts his hand up and pulls the moon down close.
Bruce Almighty.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
Do you know Jim Carrey's become a born again Christian? Because his girlfriend committed suicide. It wasn't so funny after that.
Well, I know that he's really anti-Hollywood now.
And he's very sick. He looks very sick. He's lost weight. He's looking like a bloody turkey.
He speaks out about all the stuff in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He's not kind of like making movies anymore.
No.
He's against that.
Yeah. So
a few of them have gone that way. They're coming out and saying, apparently there's some really dark stuff that goes on
there.
Parties.
Was it true that Tom Hanks was down underground Disneyland smoking cocaine, doing orgies?
Apparently he's right involved with it.
Into the Illuminati, secret society.
Yeah.
And yet he makes beautiful...
Epstein and everything.
Like you said, they're good actors, but in real life they're not even nowhere near that.
There must be the other seed.
Yeah.
It's the only way they can have that indifference. How they can boast about having mansions all over the world and private planes and everything, and yet not give a shit about people and not being in all this world so they could make so many changes and fix things. You know?
I know.
And the people here, I mean, how many rich people got, these homeless people, how many rich people are, they could chip in, buy a big block of land, get a whole pile of caravans and demountables, like 10,000 or something like that, just to take care of the immediate problem in Perth. You've got homeless people, okay, immediate fix. 10,000 caravans, we all got millions, and it's going to cost us, a few $100,000 each. Come on, let's buy a big block of land, get some power up there, some water, a whole pile of caravans, demountables. We'll get them up there and let's get them out of the rain. And then,
one time on my channel, apparently Tom Cruise came on my channel. I looked it up afterward, all the photographs, history, Hollywood. He come up on my channel and he said, Mormon, get behind me, hence come on to Scientology. And then the evil ones won the battle, and the good guys lost, and we worship bloody alien, a reptilian, and it's all based on fiction of Ron Hubbard's books.
At least you and I got this understanding of the other seed, and hard to talk about to other people.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's too woo-woo for a start.
Yeah.
And it's conspiracy
theory. Taboo.
Yeah, it's conspiracy theory. But what if it's not?
Wow.
What if, you know what I mean?
It's pretty boring.
What if it's not?
Yeah.
Okay, what if it's all true? The other seed.
The other seed.
Right?
Before Adam and Eve.
And
the fallen ones.
There will be enmity between the two seeds.
And that could have existed for 1,000,000 years before Adam and Eve. The whole fallen angels and the horses with human heads and all that Hercules time and dragons and everything, not so fiction. And then that's where Cain might have got his wife from.
Have you seen the video of the dragon flying?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Seen that?
And the one that
the thing that was on the church steeple and it flies off.
Yeah, and all the people saw it. Yeah, they were,
lots of people saw that one.
Yeah, but the weird one of all, which makes no sense, is that bloody Superman flying behind a jet.
Yeah.
But that could have been a made-up one. I don't know. But the one that was flying around on church buildings and people.
I'm going to tell you something. I saw a magician, makes Dynamo look like fucking Donald Duck.
Really?
Yeah, mate.
And I like Dynamo.
Yeah. This bloke, it's got to be the real thing. Has to be.
Okay.
Has to be. Has to be.
What's his
I
name?
think there's stuff going on in the world, mate. It's said in the last days we'll be seeing lots of strange things in the sky and all sorts of things. This bloke, I reckon he's the real deal.
What's his name?
Iman.
Don't
He's
know.
a Middle Eastern bloke.
Okay.
Like, he's Iranian or something. Okay. It's called Imam. Yeah.
Like probably a Muslim and with genies giving him.
He looks Iranian or something.
Okay.
I reckon he's the real thing.
And what does he do
Oh,
that impressed you?
Shit. Like I said, makes Dynamo look like fucking Donald Duck.
Oh, go on, fire away. I've got to hear this.
I can't even.
Dynamo
Just
was flying.
and watching the reactions on the people around him. You know, like, all right, so, okay, he'll have this lighter, all right, and just throw it up, and it'll be a glass of water, you know, just in front of everybody.
Okay.
Just he'll do this past his hand and
Come out as a glass of
and then
water.
it'll just be gone.
Yeah.
Take the money, you know, and
Well, Dynamo
just-
can do that.
no, but no. When you see this bloke,
Yeah.
it just makes Dynamo look like an amateur.
All right. Okay.
Okay, this fucker flies, does everything. All right, you gotta
He does all that. Do
and the disappearing and
you remember that one with the mask? He was just running his hand over his face, and the mask in Asia somewhere was changing different masks, and his robes changed different
I
colours.
know what you're talking about, and I've seen a lot of these blokes too. I saw this bloke, he beats them all.
Right.
Okay,
I've got to send me
and
the
this
video.
is coming from me watching this stuff, thinking, nah. And one bloke, okay, just started black bloke started screaming, you got a spirit, and he ran off. You know, just freaked out. It's just,
How do you spell his name, this guy?
I think it's Iman, I-M-A-N.
I-M-A-N. Okay.
I-M-A-N.
It's okay.
And just
Wow.
amazing, just supernatural,
Yeah.
supernatural.
then
Either mass
again-
hypnosis.
Who?
It was either mass hypnosis, or you've got a way of making people think they're seeing something.
Oh, that's what my
even
dad
the people
believes.
watching on the video.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
he's
right.
got a spirit.
Because I took Dad to Urigella. That was the very start of it all. Bending spoons and making watches tick. They had nothing in the back. And Dad just come out of that and he just said, guess what? We were all hypnotised. It's not one of those things really happened. He mass hypnotised us. My dad would not accept it was supernatural.
Yeah,
But
well,
I
see,
was
that's-
up on the
that's the other
stage, mate.
explanation, the
I
mass
was up.
hypnosis.
I was up on the stage, right? And I was sitting there. Was big fat guy sitting on the chair, and Uri Geller said, "Put your finger under here, under the arm, under here." And in a split second, we just lifted him up, right up, levitated, basically with a finger.
This bloke
No weight.
took the cake. He was just
Right.
more than anything I've seen.
Well, what
from
about
any of them.
Dynamo? He did pull. Remember how Jesus pulled the fish out of the basket? He was pulling out.
Yeah, I
Fish.
saw that. Yeah.
That was amazing. In a village. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But this is, I see that it was just too.
Yeah.
Too
He's probably
much.
making a lot of money too.
Too much. Just.
See, if I did it, if I could do that, I
Arrogant.
probably wouldn't even make money just to prove that I was genuine. I don't want any money. I just want to use these gifts and show the world that Jesus said we'll do more than him in a sense, but that's more in way of healing because nobody's limbs are growing back.
Well,
It's not like that type of healing.
one
is
of the
it?
children wouldn't be into tricks.
Nah, it's all black magic or something.
They'd be, they wouldn't be doing that.
No, they wouldn't be doing
It's
it.
the other side.
Getting
That's what I'm saying. It's
their
Sludge
reward.
Boy doing it.
You're getting their reward now.
It says these things are going to be happening. Miracle, all these amazing things.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But just watching this bloke, I said, this is
Wow.
this is ridiculous.
We had our little miracle here one night. We're in the spirit. You weren't even smoking weed that night. You were really into the spirit. And that computer did light up and I saw it. And I was talking about the light and it went beyond the light on the computer. I was asleep.
Was it right?
And the sun come up at 3 a.m. in the morning. My God.
Right.
Then it disappeared.
I saw on YouTube, some lady wrote a book, and it was called Beyond. It was a book called Beyond the Light.
Yeah.
And something after that. And I just thought about that, and I said, yeah, okay.
Yeah. It was that, it got that critical timing. And I said, if that's a spy, my goodness, he'd be getting into the spirit because it was such a high feeling. I mean, a high level. So I don't think that's so. And that angel that came to me on the phone 3 times when I was sick, going out to it with diabetes, going into a coma sort of thing. And the third time it spoke, it had words that said, "Behold, Daryl, I have a marvelous work and wonder for you to do." And when I went to check it, it disappeared. And there's no trace of it. And it was right at a time when I was critically ill, and it gave me hope. It pulled me out of a deadly sort of a sickness. So I think that was a messenger of God, mate. I don't think it was a spy. Who's going to be bothering? Who cares if I live or die?
Well, apparently everything is a message.
Yeah.
Everything. See, this is like the next level of understanding. Okay.
Yep.
That everything is perception, right? And you are seeing what you want to see. All right. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. All right.
Neil Walsh said
in this world, you don't get what you want. You get what you are.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But he said that in the book, Conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh. He said that.
Yeah, well,
exact words.
He's got all the gum flappers have got something that gives them credibility. That's how they get people in the first place. Okay,
Yep.
That's how the Catholic Church got people in the first place. Said, you're gonna come to church or you'll go to hell.
Oh yeah.
So everyone thinks, well, we better go to church and we don't want to go to hell.
99 truths get across
But
one light.
They all got pick one thing, one or two things, and then push that, right?
Yep.
And it gives them credibility. And usually the Bible's involved with that because everyone thinks, oh, if it's in the Bible, it must be real.
Yeah.
So that's why all these fanatics, all these years, had these religious cults and everything. They use the Bible.
Well, what are they going about upon the rock of Peter when a Catholic Church didn't start to 300 years after? Then the Muslims came another 300 years after. What is this upon the rock of Peter? I mean, upon the rock of Jesus Christ. The apostolic authority is Jesus' 12 apostles. What's it got to do with popes when it was prophets? And when it says in the Bible in Ephesians that a church without a prophet and 12 apostles, a true church is not, it's meaning Jesus Christ, his apostles, not the Mormon church restoring priesthoods and apostolic authority. It was already been established. It was never taken off the earth, not even during the Dark Ages where the people were kept in ignorance, which I think they'll get a second chance. All they had was the friggin' canon. It was all worship Mary or statue worship. That was never in the Bible. Apostle Paul spoke against it. I came on my channel the other night and they said, we follow the canon. And I said, why? Apostle Paul said this is how you get saved and everything. And not to. They said, oh, no, the canon is apostolic. The Catholic Church is the only true church. Oh, man.
What gets me is that Jesus knew that he knew that it was going to grow. He said, when this gospel is preached in every nation.
Yeah.
So he knew that it was going to grow. How did he know that?
Right.
You know what I mean? He also knew that he was about to be condemned to death. But he knew that it was going to grow. The message of the gospel was going to grow. He knew that.
Yeah.
Right? He said, when this gospel is preached in every nation.
Yeah.
Right? Well, that's kind of like a really radical thing to say.
Yeah.
To someone 2,000 years ago who's been hunted by the authorities of the day.
All right, go on.
You're gone.
Mate, Peter, James and John and all the apostles were not Levites, and only by tradition, by bloodline, you could hold the priesthood as a Levite. And Jesus did not give them priesthood, he gave them authority through in other ways, and of course his crucifixion by the blood of Jesus. So they weren't Levites, so there was no need for a priesthood. But of course there was in the Old Testament, Moses and all that, 144,000. But then it says in the New Testament, give or take a reference or so, that there is no high priest after Jesus Christ. We're all priests under the raw high priest. So while all these priests are popping up everywhere, high priests, and some are married and some are not, why is religion claiming the authority comes through priesthood? We don't even need religion. We don't need high priests. We are all.
According to the Bible, we're all priests.
Yeah, but not high priests. No,
there's not. But just all priests.
And Mormons are preaching. You have to be a high priest to get to the highest heaven and have polygamy and eternal.
That's all that anthem.
Oh my God. Polygamy, eternal sex, owning your own planet, populating them without number, like Abraham and Isaac, sitting on thrones as gods. It doesn't say that in the Bible. It doesn't even say it in their book. It says through Revelation. I said to people, why are you believing that? It doesn't even say it in your book. And you're saying, this book is true. This book does not say anything about that. Oh, because he said the prophet spoke. Amen. The thinking has been done. The debate is over. Shut the F up. Thanks, mate. So why are they being bewitched? And what's the Bible say? The human heart is wickedly deceptive. They're going on a feeling, just like Disneyland. When I wish upon a star, and all kids go for it. I mean, it's beautiful. It's innocent, people love it, but it's still deception because it's not Jesus. It's even Father Christmas is not Jesus. Though there's a very powerful Holy Spirit feeling when Christmas time. It's not even his real birthday anyway. But the thing is, there's all this pagan thing and people going for that, and yet they're missing the point that you've got to strip all this down. There was only one king, that's Jesus Christ. There's no one else. There's no, and forbid no man to marry. Call no man your father. Father Murphy, Father Brian, and your father arsehole. I love that. Forbid no man to eat meat, meaning if it's been blessed and you bless your meat, you can eat it. And churches start up over this. It's just, or you got to worship on the Saturday, which it was, and the Catholic Church changed it. Constantine involved. Who messes with the times and the seasons? Let that man be accursed. But every day can be the Sabbath, and we got to make one day Sabbath and rest up.
How dare the Romans think that they could just take it?
And they tell the people it's blatant,
and then imprison them in this dungeon of dogma and ritual,
and they kill the
going to mass. It was illegal if you didn't go to mass.
That's it.
You broke the law.
Yep.
In a Catholic, like countries like Spain or something, when those church bells went off, everyone had to go to mass.
They come around with a sword. Yeah.
And if you didn't, you're in trouble.
Get your head chopped off.
Why weren't you in mass?
And the Gnostics refused to marry in the Catholic Church. Good on them, though they're supposed to obey the laws of the land, the Bible said. But anyway, they went against it. Got their own personal revelation to shack up. They didn't have anybody to marry them, and it was justified.
But I was thinking, all the churches have got these bell towers.
Yeah.
The church in the bell tower. Every church in the world's got a bell tower.
Yeah.
That's to tell people through the dark age, 1,000 years, that's to tell people it's time to come to church.
Get hence to the Catholic
ding,
Church.
Ding, ding, it's time because it was the law. You have to.
Exactly.
And the bell's gone off. Got to go to church.
And the Gnostics were married in God's eyes, but they weren't legally married. And they were not lustful because they were like Puritans. They'd only have sex for either children or very intimate. They'd hold back the seed and everything. They probably did a lot of foreplay, but they were very pure. And yet they're spewed out of God's mouth, according to the Catholics.
Pope killed them all.
And the Pope got them all killed. And they had the 14 lost books of the Bible, or the Catholic Church had them, and then they tried to preserve the 14 lost books. Yeah. Oh my God.
Children.
I know, millions, and people still Catholic today, and they think, oh, well, that's the law. That's
one of those popes was heard to say, "Oh no."
What do you mean? What's that mean?
One of those popes, when he was dying.
Oh, he said, "Oh no."
He said, "Oh no."
The demon's coming. Yeah, the demon's coming for him. Drag him down like a cockroach into hell. No authority, no rank, no nothing. Yeah. It's scary.
Something is terribly wrong.
Yeah. They thought they were going to get power hereafter.
Yeah.
They get nothing.
They
Not even
by the shadows.
Not even Frank Sinatra, the king of romance, those love songs and everything. Even he's not going to be the head mafia boss down there with all his music. It's going to be nothing. It's going to be miserable.
I laughed when I read that about Anton LaVey, the head of the Satanic Church, because I've been aware of him for a long time.
Yeah.
Seen his pictures and that smirky grin on his face, standing in front of the magic circle and everything, and with his robe and Church of Satan.
And then he dies. Did you say he was dying or something?
Yeah, and he died. And something's wrong. Something's terribly wrong.
Did he actually die?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's dead.
But he was speaking out his last words.
Something's wrong. Something's terribly wrong. And I remember seeing these pictures of him with his smirk on his face in front of the magic circle. I'm the head of the Church of Satan.
Yeah.
And yet
I'll tell you what I sense something wrong is that you've got a spirit, but your soul's won the battle. It's dragged your spirit down to hell. And when you separate from the soul and you're a spirit, your spirit's held accountable for eternity. And your spirit is rather pure. It's not the evil one. It's the soul, mind, intellect, will, emotions, and ego. And the spirit is going to regret it.
Then in the judgment, he's going to be looking for a thought. Every thought is going to be examined. And if he can't find one thought, remember how Sodom and Gomorrah?
Yes.
Okay? And Lot said, if there are 100 people, will you save it? Okay. Oh no, there's not 100. If there are 50 people, will you save it? Okay. Well, there's not 50.
No.
If there are 20 people, will you save it?
Right down to
Okay.
how many?
So,
5.
You know, just that one Lot's family. So it's like, the exam. Finding is going to be if you can't find one thought, it's over. If you can't find what he's looking for, it's over. So he does go looking for it.
Yeah.
He does go looking for it.
Amen,
Please,
brother.
go looking for it and find it. If you can find that. He couldn't find it. But he goes looking for it. He'll be looking at examining every thought.
Exactly.
And looking for that one thought sorry.
I need your comfort on this one, brother. I mean, Gamble turned around and said to me, if you're a smoker, you are looking back like Lot's wife and turning into salt over a cigarette. Is that bullshit?
Gum flappers, mate. But look, it says that he desires that all men be saved. So it makes sense that he's going to be looking for any redeeming feature. And he's going to be looking and if he finds